the grade 3 teacher who was removed from her classroom job for wearing a hijab.
A grade 3 teacher in Quebec has been removed from her classroom for being Muslim. That's right. Under a new and dangerous law in Quebec, you cannot wear a hijab while working in some civil servant positions, including teaching. Now, while this law is being framed as being secular because it bars all religious symbols, clearly it falls disproportionately on marginalized communities. So, more here from CBC News.
The messages are clear outside this school in Chelsea, Quebec. Support for Fatima Anvari, the grade 3 teacher who was removed from her classroom job for wearing a hijab.
Honestly, at that second, it was just shock. It was very hard to process.
Anvari is concerned about her safety, so CBC News has agreed not to show her face.
Kids were so confused. They saw me in the hallway and they asked me why I cannot be their teacher anymore.
The school board says it had to follow the rules of Quebec's Bill 21 that prohibits public sector workers from wearing religious symbols.
We're not in favor of this bill. We find it discriminatory. We've stated so, but as citizens of the province of Quebec, we are expected to follow the law and will do so.
It's a popular law in the province, but it's facing several court challenges. And English school boards like this one have fought for an exemption. But last month, a judge ruled the law will apply to everyone while the cases play out in the courts. One student made this card, saying she misses Ms. Anvari and thinks her hijab is awesome. Her mom says the decision shocked her.
My kids didn't know what had happened, so I had to, on the spot, try to explain to them why a teacher had lost her job because of, sorry.
The outcry made the Quebec law a hot topic in Ottawa again today.
If they want to wear a hijab, it should be their choice.
Thank you.
It's not government's business to impose what to wear and what not to wear.
Others took to Twitter to call on the federal government to act. Conservative MP Kyle Seaback calls the bill a disgrace and says it has to be opposed in the courts. And while the three main federal party leaders say they personally oppose Bill 21, not one of them has committed to a federal intervention to challenge it in the courts. Hannah Thibodeau, CBC News, Ottawa.
Now, Canadians like to pretend that we aren't as racist or as bigoted as Americans, but this law clearly says otherwise. How this was allowed to go through still is shocking to me. But there's a continued fight against it. Hopefully at some point those fights are successful and it's reversed. But in the meantime, you're seeing the actual people being impacted by this. Just disgusting. So more here from CBC. Anvari says the hijab is now part of her identity. Quote, "Yes, I'm a Muslim, but for me the hijab holds other meanings of just my identity and how I've chosen to represent myself as a strong person in a world that may not want me to be myself," she said. But it's still a religious symbol at the end of the day, so that's why it has a conflict with the law. Going on here, neither Anvari nor the parents who spoke with CBC blame the school, which they all said fosters a welcoming and inclusive atmosphere. Instead, the parents say the law, Bill 21, should never have been passed. Quote, "I'd like the government to see what it's like for an 8-year-old to lose their teacher because of something like this," said Kirsten Taylor Bozeman, whose daughter attended class with Miss Fatima, as students call her. Now, I understand, the desire here to protect the school. I get it. They're just following the law. But it would be nice occasionally for these institutions, these people to just stand up and say, you know what? No, this is wrong. We're not going to remove her from her position. Was there an outcry to get her out of the classroom? It doesn't sound like it. They just went ahead and was like, oh, wait, this is the law, so we have to do this now. No, just fight it. Like, you have to at some point stand up against this kind of bullshit. But yeah, ultimately it is the fault of the bill or the law, obviously. But, people have to take some agency here. And just, if you see something that is completely ridiculous, that threatens civil liberties, stand up against it. This tweet from Kristen or Krista saying, this week a teacher was removed from her class in Quebec because she wears a hijab. At the school I work at in Quebec, we're doing Christmas activities, including songs mentioning prayer and a book on the birth of Jesus. Tell me again how Bill 21 is about secularism. Of course the bill isn't. It's all about using power against the marginalized. Last thing here, as I said, there's a continued fight against this. So, let's hope this fight goes somewhere, but these fights have been ongoing. This is from May 6th. So, we're going to have to wait and see where this all goes. But in the meantime, real people are being impacted, and it is just disgusting to see.